In any event, you will want to go as far as you can in cultivating your uniqueness and the originality that goes with it. In a world full of people who seem largely interchangeable, you cannot be replaced. You are one of a kind. Your combination of skills and experiences is not replicable. That represents the true freedom and the ultimate power we humans can possess. Strategies for developing a high sense of purpose. You will face many enemies and obstacles impeding your progress. The distracting voices of others who instill doubts about your calling and your uniqueness. Your own boredom and the frustrations with the work itself and your slow progress. The lack of trustworthy criticism, the burnout that often accompanies focused labor over long periods. Okay, the lack of trustworthy criticism from people to help you, the levels of anxiety you must manage. And finally, the burnout that often accompanies focused labor over long periods. The following five strategies are designed to help you move past these obstacles. They are in loose order, the first being the essential starting point. You will want to put them all into practice to ensure continued movement forward. Discover your calling in life. You begin this strategy by looking for signs of primal inclinations in your earliest years, when they were often the clearest. Some people can easily remember such early indications, but for many of us, it requires some introspection and some digging. What you are looking for is moments in which you were unusually fascinated by a particular subject or certain objects or specific activities and the forms of play. On another side, examine moments in your life when certain tasks or activities felt natural and easy to you, similar to swimming with a current. In performing such activities, you have a greater tolerance for the tedium of practicing. People's criticism don't discourage you so easily. You want to learn. You can contrast this with other subjects or tests that you find deeply being and unfulfilling, which frustrate you. Related to this, you will want to figure out the particular from the intelligence that your brain is wired for. In his book, Frames of Mind, the psychologist Howard Gardner lists certain forms of intelligence for which people usually have one particular gift or affinity. This could be mathematics and logic, physical activities, words, images, or music. We could also add to this the social intelligence, superior sensitivity to people. Social intelligence is superior sensitivity to people. When you're engaged in the activity that feels right, it will correspond to that form of intelligence for which your brain is most suited. In essence, in going through this process, you are discovering yourself, what makes you different, what predates the opinions of others, your transquantity. Oh, I'm sorry, you are reacquainting, reacquainting yourself with your natural likes and dislikes. Later in life, we often lose contact with our own preferences for things, deeply influenced by what others are doing and by the culture. You are subtracting such external influences. The deeper you make this connection to your calling, the more you will be able to resist the bad ideas of others. You will engage the internal guardian system, put some time into the process, working with your journal if necessary. You're developing the habit of accessing and listening to yourself so that you can continually monitor your progress and adjust this calling to the various stages in your life. You will want to take the skills you have already developed and find a way to adapt them more in the direction of your true calling. Remember that the calling could be combining several fields that fascinate you. For jobs, it was the intersection of technology and design. Keep the process open-ended. Your experience will instruct you as the way. Do not try to bypass the work of discovering your calling or imagine that it will simply come to you naturally. Although it may come to a few people early in life or in a lightning bolt moment, for most of us, it requires continual introspection and effort. Experimenting with the skills and opinions related to your personality and inclination is not only the single most essential step in developing a high sense of purpose, it is perhaps the most important step in life in general. Knowing in a deep way who you are, your uniqueness, will make it that much easier to avoid all of the other pitfalls of the human nature. Use resistance and the negative spurs. The key to success in any field is first developing skills in various areas. I'm sorry. Which you can later combine in unique and creative ways. But the process of doing so can be tedious and painful as you become aware of your limitations and the relative lack of skill. Most people, consciously or unconsciously, seek to avoid the tedium, pain, and any form of adversity. They try to put themselves in places where they will face less criticism and minimize their chances of failure. You must choose to move in opposite direction. You want to embrace negative experiences, limitations, and even pain as the perfect means of building up your skill levels and sharpening your sense of purpose. When it comes to exercise, you understand the importance of manageable levels of pain and discomfort because they later yield strength, stamina, and other positive sensations. The same will come to you by actually embracing the tedium in your practice. Frustration is a sign that you're making progress as your mind becomes aware of higher levels of skill that you have yet to attain. You want to use and embrace any kind of deadline. If you give yourself a year to finish a project or start up a business, you will generally take a year or more. If you give yourself 3 months, you will finish it that much sooner, and the concentrated energy with which you work will raise your skill level and make the end result that much better. If necessary, manufacture reasonably tight deadlines to intensify your sense of purpose, absorb purposeful energy. We humans are extremely susceptible to the moods and energy of other people. For this reason, you want to avoid too much contact with those who have a low and false sense of purpose. On the other hand, you always want to try to find and associate with those who have a high sense of purpose. This could be the perfect mentor or teacher or partner on a project. Such people will tend to bring out the best in you, and you will find it easier and even refreshing to receive their criticism. She was attracted to his ambition, his well-rounded experience, his knowledge of the arts, and his ruthless practicality. In this case, you want to find people who are problematic and not marry those who are charismatic and visionaries. You want their practical advice and to observe their spirit of getting things done. If possible, correct around you a group of people from the different fields as friends and associates who have similar energy. You will help elevate one another's sense of purpose. Do not settle for virtual associations or mentors that will not have the same effect. Create a red letter of descending goals. Operating with long-term goals will bring you tremendous clarity and resolve. These goals in a project and a business to create, for instance, can be relatively ambitious, enough to bring out the best in you. The problem, however, is that they will also tend to generate anxiety as you look at all you have to do reach them from the present vantage point. To manage such anxiety, you must create a radar of smaller goals along the way, reaching down to the present. Such objectives are simpler the further down and the later you go, and you can realize them in relatively short time frames, giving you moments of satisfaction and a sense of progress. Always break a task into smaller bites. If they are weak, you must have micro goals. This will help you focus and avoid entanglements or detours that will waste in your energy. At the same time, you want to continually remind yourself of the larger goal to avoid losing track of it or getting too mired in details. Periodically, return to your original vision and imagine the immense satisfaction you will have when it comes to fruition. This will give you clarity and inspire you forward. You will also want a degree of flexibility built into the process. At certain moments, you reaccess your progress and adjust the various goals as necessary, constantly learning from experience and adapting and improving your original objective. Remember that what you're after is a series of practical results and accomplishments, not a list of unrealized dreams and aborted projects. Working with smaller, embedded goals will keep you moving in such direction. Lose yourself in the work. Perhaps the greatest difficulty you will face in maintaining a high and consistent sense of purpose is the level of commitment that is required over time and satisfies that go with this. You have to handle many moments of frustration, boredom, and failure, and endless temptations in our culture for more immediate pleasures. The benefits listed above in the keys are often not immediately apparent, And as you years in pilot, you can face burnout. To offset this tedium, you need to have moments of flow in which your mind becomes deeply immersed and the world that you're transported beyond your ego. You experience a feeling of profound calmness and joy. The psychologist Abraham Maslow called these peak experiences. Once you have them, you're forever changed. You will feel the compulsion to repeat them. The moment immediate pleasure the world offers will pale in comparison. And when you feel rewarded for your dedication and the sacrifices, your sense of purpose will be intensified. Okay.